What's up, everybody? Welcome to Demon by X. Today we're going to be talking about the Archie comics. Yes, the Archie Sonic comics. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I kind of decorated the background so it isn't just a black screen. And no, this isn't editing the video. This is just editing the background. I got Archie designs and my favorite character in the series. So, today we're talking about Archie comics, the Archie Sonic comics. And, yeah, I'm just gonna say we need him back. Even as just a cameo in the IDW comics. Just bring these Archie comics back. Please. Sega, IDW sucks, okay? They started off good, but it sucks. The characters suck. The story sucks. Everything about it sucks. The only thing good is Sonic is not a mistake on planet Earth. But I preferred the Archie comics because they had character development. They weren't afraid to actually kill characters off at actual risks. You know, making it an exciting story. I don't think Metal Sonic for the 50th time is an exciting story. In my opinion, an exciting story is a war. In IDW comics, yeah, there was kind of a war, but that was before the IDW comics. They're cleaning up the war, and that was from Sonic Forces, of all games. I know I made a video about how good Forces is, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still probably one of the worst Sonic games ever made. I prefer the adventure games. Now, of course, the IDW comics and the Archie comics are similar. They're both comics. But I preferred the Archie comics mostly because they had high stakes, interesting stories, great artwork, sometimes. They had a lot of stuff. They had tons of unique characters instead of just the same cast with like one or two new characters. And then a new enemy. Yes, I'm talking about the IDW comics as well. But we need the Archie comics back. When the Archie comics were being made, Sonic was good. When they got cancelled, the games went downhill. I know Sonic Forces and all those other games were made before Archie was cancelled, but in 2013 is when they stopped using them for game-related stuff, and it was just there. Like, they weren't afraid to kill characters off. They weren't afraid of Sonic having relationships. Clearly. These two didn't get along very well. They still don't get along very well, even in IDW. But I preferred the Archie comics mostly because their art was great. The risks were actual risks. Like, they put in the Metal Virus arc from IDW comics were pretty much just a very, very stupid and downgraded version of pretty much the entire idea of roboticization from the Archie comics, where Eggman has a machine that can turn them into robots, which actually happens to Sonic once, and Knuckles. and horror. My favorite arc from the IDW comics is the Metal Virus arc, but that doesn't change the difference between me hating IDW and me loving the Archie comics. If they can't bring back the Archie comics, they can't have good Sonic games. Frontiers is okay, but I don't really care about Archie comics as much as I just care about the Archie comic characters. I want those characters to be brought back. Sega still owns the right to most of those characters. This character, and pretty much all the other characters they made, they own the rights to them. Not IDW, Archie, he does not own the rights to those characters. People who created Sam doesn't. They are owned by Sega. Sega designed the characters, they still have the copyrights to them. So they literally can make these best characters of the series canon. But they don't. Why don't they? I want Archie characters back. I love the Archie characters I like Archie because it gives us a risk. I don't really like the edginess of Shadow the Hedgehog or something like that. But I liked when Sonic games took risks. That's why I like Frontiers. Because they're trying to go back to the adventure-style Sonic games. They're going back to a good Sonic game. Idea. In my opinion, when I think of Sonic nowadays, I think of Blue Hedgehog doing good because because of him just wanting to. When I think of old Sonic games like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, I think of Sonic just being someone who wants to help others, isn't a idiot, but isn't very smart. He's not going to make jokes in serious situations. He will be funny, yeah, but he's not going to be as funny as in like Sonic Colors or Sonic Lost World. I know people have been going on and on to death about the fact that Sonic isn't as good as it used to be. I get it, but that's because it's true. Now, honestly, I think that sometimes they actually are trying. Like in Versus, in my opinion only, there might be a few others, Sonic isn't played as completely stupid or anything. Now, I could see that they could have definitely worked on and making Sonic that game better, but at least they didn't do Sonic like they did in Sonic Colors, where he's making jokes while the planet they are on is being enslaved. Not a different planet of wisps. They're somewhat coming back to being great, but when IDW is making Sonic better than the company that created Sonic, that's embarrassing. And Archie did better than both of them. I know that they don't really like Sonic being in relationships, but I didn't really care. It was okay. It was good. Now, I know Archie Sonic was probably way too overpowered, but that's probably some of the best parts. If you're too overpowered, then that means there's just going to be better and better characters added in to kick your ass. I really like the Archie comics. if they can't bring the Archie comics back, they could at least use the characters. They don't need to own Archie comics to use the characters that they own. I just want to be able to see my favorite characters being used again. At least add them to some spin-offs. They're just spin-offs. So, at least add them to some spin-offs so I could play them in a game. I just want to be able to see them again. And being used. These characters were used for years. But then they just are gone. Like, I miss those characters. They had very great stories.